This is a short video to explain the main outcomes of Polifonia's pilot tonalities and how they could be interesting to members of the stakeholders network. A little introduction: I am Marco Guerrieri. I work as a research engineer at the IReMus in Paris, where I co-direct with Christophe Guillotel-Nothmann Polifonia's pilot tonalities. The Institute for Research in Musicology, also called IReMus, is a CNRS unit entirely dedicated to musicology. It counts circa 60 permanent members working on different periods of music history and on several musicological domains. Its mission is the enhancement of musical heritage in France. Tonalities' aims are to better understand the evolution of the musical language, to fix and to design the theoretical models on which these last ones are grounded, to share and to compare existing musical analysis, and to provide a tool for the analytical exploration of large music collections and for the modal-tonal classification of works from the Renaissance to the 20th century. Tonalities has a broader epistemological and pedagogical dimension. It does not only impact research on the theory and evolution of the musical language, but it also relevant for the understanding of music collections by students, performers, and informed music lovers. In tonalities, we want to conjugate quantitative approaches, just like a statistical analysis of the chain of chords, of the melodic pattern, etc., and qualitative approaches. To do this, we have to take into account both the relevance of specific music elements like harmonic progressions, chromatic alteration, etc., and their hypothetical role in the music language or in the style of a particular period. More precisely, our mission is to check previously identified qualitative hypotheses through quantitative approaches. This dialogue between quantitative and qualitative dimensions is grounded on the tentative to articulate mechanical and algorithmic approaches, just like deep learning, conceptual formalization, etc., and human annotation. The complexity of this kind of research is linked to the conviction that the production of an analytical framework is always geo-determined and context-driven. In other words, it depends on the implicit or explicit choice of a theoretical model, on the analyst's cultural background, on his/her musical education, and on the sources of his/her knowledge. That's why the computational modelization of the theoretical treatise is a fundamental step of tonalities. Every music analytical observation must be grounded on a precise theoretical model, the most adapted one to a specific composition in consideration of its historical and geographical origins. For example, the Venetian music output from the 16th century can be correctly analyzed through the modalization of Josefo Zarlino's music treatise Le istituzioni armoniche from 1558, and in particular the fourth book of this treatise that is dedicated to the modes and to the modal language. Here an example of the back office work on the computational modelization of Zarlino's treatise. Once established our theoretical frameworks and proceeded with the computational modelizations, for the moment we modelized Pretorius and Zarlino's treatises, that represent the starting point of our research, we are now working on the annotation interface in order to select a music composition, to select a theoretical model of reference, to select any element or a group of elements on the online music score, to link to it or to them music analytical annotations from a selected list of properties following the chosen analytical model, to compare one musical analysis to an already registered one, to add any commentary or instance. The annotation interface is a tool where everything that appears on the online score can be grouped into a selection, where complex analytical elements, just like verticalities, groups of notes, etc., can also be selected, where a selection may be enriched with any element, even with other selections, where arbitrary selection trees through nested selections may be created. As regards to the technical features of our annotation interface, the front end is a React Redux application, and 100% of the data, except MEI files, are stored in an Apache Gena Fuseki RDF triple store. Academical institutions like universities, research institutes, conservatoires could mainly be interested in tonalities in consideration of its analytical applications in musicological research domains. Our panel of stakeholders will also include scholars, interpreters, students, and music lovers. They can use the interface, add their analysis, compare them, export data, apply different models. Beyond, stakeholders are involved in the implementation of the interface and in its validation. They could give us important feedbacks on the objectives and on the usability of the annotation interface. For Tonalities, it's all. Thanks for listening.